Welcome back. I am Rudy Knapp, and this is Legacy Building a Kingdom. Today, I'd love to start off with doing a little exercise, just kind of doing some brainstorming on the podcast throughout as we connect week in and week out about how we build our kingdom, how we make our lives even better every single day by focusing on the different pillars of our lives. And as we do that, I really want to focus on something a little different this week. Last week we talked a little bit about purpose. What is your purpose? And finding to under finding the ways to understand how you can find your purpose. Then we talked a little bit about being humble the week before that. So as we're connecting these dots here, I want to get into this little exercise first. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to picture a few things for me. Number one, I want you to picture one song that you would go to make yourself feel happy. As you listen to that song, it brings these emotions of happiness. So I want you to go through and I want you to think of a song, something that is inspiring, something that makes you happy. I also would like you to think of one picture that's in your phone that you might look at to give you these happy feelings. So you're picturing one song that you would listen to, you're picturing one picture in your phone that you can look at, then also one person that you might think of that you could call at any moment to make you laugh or you guys have a good time or you're happy whenever you speak to this person. Then I want you to think of one night. If you could plan one night, what would the details of that one night have? So let's think, who would be there? What would you be doing? Where would you be? When would you do this? Why would you do this? Why would this be the one night that would bring on this emotion that's overwhelming that actually you can look at yourself and say, I'm happy? Then the last thing I would like you to do is think of one trip you would like to go on. Anywhere you can go in the world, where you would like to go. What is that one trip? Who would be with you? Where would you go? When would you go? And why would you pick that place? So you're thinking of this one song, one picture, one person to talk to, one night that you would do and what you would do, and one trip you would like to go on. So I'm asking you to think of these things, brainstorm this, write this down, and really focus on the why. Why would you choose those? Why would you choose that song? Why would you choose that picture? Why would you choose that person? Why would you choose that night? Why would you choose that trip? Okay. So as you start thinking about this and you're putting it in your brain, you would hope that your brain is starting to evolve into understanding as you're thinking, you're creating these happy moments, these thoughts in your brain. You're getting this narrative that's not negative anymore, but it's actually a positive thing. So as you do this exercise and you come up with can't come up with a song. I always love All That Really Matters by Teddy Swims. Big country guy, but Teddy Swims is a great singer. Take a look at that song. It talks about life and where you belong, and all that really matters is finding somebody to make you happy. What about a picture? I love the picture of me and my kids together. When we moved into our house, like there's such an impactful moment where you see my dog and you see my two kids smiling. It's a great picture. What's one person you would call to make you laugh or happy? I have many people in that situation. I have so many people that I could call, a lot of friends, but I have some people out there that really make me happy. And when I picture them, I picture the conversation, I picture the interaction, I picture their facial expression. Those are things that really make me feel something. And then one night, who, what, when, where, why, just imagine, where would you like to be? I just got back from Nashville. I spent that with my family. I spent that with important people in my life, celebrating my goddaughter's 21st birthday. We got a chance for live music. We got a chance to be on Broadway. We got a chance to have some drinks and laugh and dance and sing and joke. And there's nothing better than Nashville on Broadway with live music while you're hanging out. And just a really cool experience. The weather was perfect. The environment is perfect. Love the idea of country music. Just one night in Nashville would be plenty enough to say that would be a great experience. And then you talk about a trip. Where do you want to go? I know where I'm going in 2 years. I already got plans within the next 2 years. So when I think of happiness, I think of the things that I want to accomplish in life, who I want to be with me, and I think of where I want to go. I'll be in Spain. I know that for a fact. And I know I'm going to accomplish some of my goals that I have. And I know I'm going to experience some culture. And I know I'm going to have great food. And I know that I'm going to be doing some pretty cool things that are challenging. And I love the idea of thinking of that trip and wanting to plan ahead and really, really save my money to handle that experience the way I want it to go. And, it makes me happy to think about. So, why are we doing these exercises? Well, it's okay to live life. It's okay to enjoy your life. Give yourself some grace. Love yourself enough to put aside responsibility once in a while and enjoy the parts of life that make you happy. It's why we live. Well, it's so interesting to me to think on how much we gear our lives towards working and responsibility and what we can't do and what we can't have and how much we can't. This concept of can't is it's a grueling process and word that I have eliminated from many things in my life. And anybody that truly knows me, I've had these conversations recently. Like, it's such a compliment to me to say, like, when people say to you that when you say you're going to do something, you do it. And I'm overwhelmed with joy to say, yeah, that's me. That's my integrity. That's who I am. And I want everyone to experience that. I want you to match your words to your actions. Have integrity and do what you really want to do. Stop with the I can'ts. I went through a grueling process that I talked about in one of my first podcasts about 75 Hard and really mental toughness program that I encourage to everybody to really set their mind right and to build their kingdom by setting themselves correct first. Build yourself up before you can build those around you. I say this a lot, but I'm also thinking about, you know, this idea of what do you go through? What sacrifice are you going to go through for that? But I mean, when people say that to me, that you have integrity, that you match what you're going to do, yes, because I eliminated the word I can't, the words I can't from my vocabulary. Uh, I can. I can do anything I want to do, and there's very few limitations on life that are going to keep me from those things if that's really truly what I want. And we could say things that we can't do in life because of whatever stipulations and variables that come in play. But realistic, what is it that you actually want in your life? Do it. Set your life up to have some happiness. Be with the right person. Find a way to become happy. Model it for your kids. This idea of happiness is such the key to everything. And I'd be a sucker to stand here and say that all of this doesn't revolve around what we talked about last week, your purpose. When you know your purpose, when you found deep in your heart what really makes you feel of value and what you're doing in your life, when you have that purpose, it's this feeling you get. Honestly, I think you look back to God, and if you really look at this whole big picture of what we're talking about here and building a kingdom and helping ourselves out and living an amazing life and helping our lives out, look back to the spiritual part of what we're talking about. If you can build yourself up within God and you understand this appreciation and you understand that God is here and He's this energy around us, and we understand that if we want that pure happiness, let's really focus on this concept of how do I get to that? Well, first you have to have purpose, and that purpose comes from God. And so as we look through and we start looking at ourselves and we start talking about why are we doing this and why do we work all the time? I mean, let me just throw some numbers at you. I mean, you work over 90,000 hours in your lifetime. 90,000 hours. And that's only based on a bare minimum. Let me give you what it's based on. From the time you're 20 years old to the time you're 65 years old, if you work 40 hours a week, you are working over 90,000 hours. You're working approximately 90,000 hours. Now, we don't work 40 hours a week a lot of the time. We can work way more than that, and we can work less than that. So, again, I'm going to say the average, that's 40-hour weeks. I know a lot of people have jobs that are way more than that. Now, I'm a teacher and I hear all the same garbage about how we don't work the hours, but you do put in the hours if you're a good teacher. You're putting in hours at home, you're putting in hours on your own time. So you're working well over 40 hours a week, but you also get summers off, and I understand the concept. So when you do get summers off, what else are you doing? You're probably working, because most teachers have to work because your pay is different. But when we say that you're working 40 hours a week and it's work, That's work. And if it's your passion, great. If it's what your purpose is, great, because you're now happy doing this. If it's not, or even if it's something that you'd like to do outside of your work, we're going to talk about that concept. What do you do outside of work to make yourself happy? You know, it is. Let's talk about the 8 plus 8 plus 8 rule. I made this up, but you work. Let's say you work 8 hours a day. That means you are up for 8 hours a day and you sleep for 8 hours a day. Everybody recommends that 8 hours. So I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I talk about it to a lot of my people in my kingdom. We have these conversations, and I say, for me, purposely, I want to live life. I want to be happy. I want to enjoy my life. I want to be functional. I want to find ways to show growth. I want to accomplish things. And when I do that, I wake up early. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger actually said it one time, you don't need 8 hours of sleep. You should have a focus of 6 hours a day. I know doctors might tell you other things. I know everyone say that their body hurts or they're tired. I get it. Get your 8 hours when you're super tired. Get your 10 hours if you need to at some point in life. But on a daily basis, let's talk about 6 hours. Now let's talk about the idea of 6 hours. Why do I say that? Well, there's 24 hours in a day. When you are sleeping for 8 hours, that means you have 16 hours to live. 8 of them are spent working, 8 of them are spent alive and doing whatever you'd like to do. Well, I shouldn't say that. You might be doing yard work, or you might be doing housework, or you might be taking care of your kids and things like that. Maybe it isn't exactly what you want to do, but you got 8 hours to live. So let's think, what happens when you only have 6 hours and you get up early in the morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, like I do, 3:45, 3:30 sometimes. You get your 2 hour workout in and you focus on that. Now I got things accomplished. When I wake up, I make my bed first thing, I brush my teeth, I get ready, put my contacts in, I do my thing, get to the gym right away. I get my 2 hours in, my hour and a half to 2 hours. I shower, I get ready, I go to work. Those things happen. But what I've accomplished in my life before some people are even waking up, it opens the door for me to accomplish more. I'm not judging anyone else. I'm telling you what works for me. I want to live more than 8 hours a day. I want to live my 10 hours a day then. Now I get my 10 hours in, and I spend 2 of them working on me, right? That exercise is working on me. So let's think about that. Get in shape. So if you're spending times getting in shape, or you're spending your time to find your happiness, get in shape. Why? I'm a big promoter of physical well being leads to mental well being. When you are physically showing results and you feel good about yourself, you're building confidence, you are happy because you see a result. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how heavy you are. I don't care what you've gone through in your life. I don't care how hurt you are. If you put work in for yourself, you will build a confidence when you see that growth. Does it happen overnight? Absolutely not. You're going to have to understand this word consistency. You're going to have to understand this word resilience, right? You're going to have to know and learn these things. But when you do finally see some results, one thing that you'll understand is this: I feel good about myself. I have a confidence. I look a lot better. I feel a lot better. I am healthier than I was before. Nobody walks out of the gym. Not one person, not my kids when they come to the gym with me every time I have them. They never walk out of the gym and say, I regret going. Never. Have never heard someone say that. They might say, I hurt, or my body hurts, or there might be something that happens, but they always feel good about themselves because they accomplished something. They walked into a place, put in work for themselves, and they walked out feeling better about themselves. That's called this self awareness, this confidence that they're building in themselves. And when you do it day after day, you will understand getting in shape is an important part. So let's talk about 3 parts of getting in shape. Well, we're going to lift weights, we're going to move our body, that's some cardio, and we're going to eat healthy. So it's not just lifting weights. It doesn't work. You can lift all day long all you want. If you eat like crap, guess what? You're not going to see results that you want to see. You can eat right and you might see results from eating right, but you're not going to have the muscle tone or the things that you want in strength. So it goes hand in hand. When you do both, you will see results. But I'm saying this to you because not only is getting in shape such an important part, but there's also 3 essentials to happiness in life that is about getting in shape. You have to get in shape with understanding a couple things. You have to understand these 3 things. You have to think about 3 essentials to being happy in life. Well, something you do, or Something to do, I should say, might make you happy. Something to love is going to make you happy. And something to hope for will make you happy. So let's think about those three things, right? I call it getting in shape with your happiness, right? Something to do can make you happy, something to love, and something to hope for. When you put those things in perspective, if you do those three things on a daily basis or have those things on a daily basis, guess what? You're now learning how to get yourself in shape with being happy. We could talk about happiness all day long and things that can come up to help us to become happy. Why should we be happy? Because we want to live our lives to have this sense of reasoning and why we're working, why we're taking on this responsibility. We want to actually enjoy ourselves. So we got to do this. It is okay to be happy. It is okay to find happiness. When we focus on that negative, we're never going to. So let's talk about the 10 keys to living a happier life. I mean, we just talked about three things that you can do on a daily basis, but what about this concept of great dream? I read this somewhere, and it's an acronym. Great dream is an acronym for giving, which is being like kind to others, relating, which is connecting with people, exercising, you're taking care of your body. We talked about that already. Awareness, live life mindfully, trying out or learning new things. When we learn new things, we make these connections that we can maybe open the door to better and greater things that we might love. And then dream, D is for direction. You have goals in life, set goals in life, go for them. And then R is for resilience. Bounce back when it doesn't work. Keep trying. Do it over and over and over again. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. You're going to get better. You're going to get better. You're going to be successful. E is emotions. Find the good in things. Focus on the good. Let's get away from the negative. Get away from that whole narrative that you keep creating in your mind. Find the good. Acceptance. A. Comfortable with who you are. Accept who you are. Accept what you bring to the table. Accept the person you are, and move forward. Have fun. Stop worrying about what other people think. Accept yourself. And then M is meaning, right? It's being part of something bigger. There comes your God. There comes your religion, your faith, your spiritual. Be part of something bigger. Whether it's something that has to do with your family, whether it has something to do with your job, your career, whether it has something to do with your church, whether it has something to do with just volunteering. Be part of something bigger. Represent something that's bigger. And this concept of great dream, these are definitely things that will always bring you to a happier living. And so when you start really focusing, let's understand one word that I think is so important. When I'm preaching to my friends that probably don't want to hear me talk as much as I do and heard it before, or this podcast, I really want you to take this with you. Everything you do in life is intentional. Find a way to make it intentional. When you live your life and you wake up in the morning, make it intentional. We could wake up every morning and have a negative thought and ruin our day. We could wake up and let one little thing that goes wrong and it can ruin our day. It happens every time. Somebody cut us off on the way to work. It's raining outside. We can find the negative in everything. But where are we focusing on the positive? You heard me talk about it in this podcast many, many times. Where are you focusing on the positive? Where is your intention? My intention is to have a great day every morning. My intention is to get up and accomplish something. Make my bed. Go to the gym. Accomplish something. Get ready for work. While I'm at the gym, I'm now mentally preparing myself for the day. What do I have to do today? What is on my checklist? Who do I need to speak with? Who did I have conversations with yesterday that I'm reflecting on? What do I need to do to better myself today? What is my focus today? How can I be happy today? So when I start thinking those things, I don't just say this to you guys. I'm as real as it gets. I'm somebody that will speak what I believe. I do read some things, a lot of things, and I do take from things because I feel you will only learn in life when you talk to people and you create these different relationships. When you look up things and you take from other smart people that are having conversations and they're talking about these same concepts. This isn't reinventing the wheel. This is us having conversation about what we need to do to make ourselves better every single day. And I want my kids to understand this. And I want them every day to have these conversations and to see this is the way my dad lived. This is the way he's preaching, listen, I'm not perfect. I have my negative, horrible days as well. But to eliminate or to try to eliminate those things from happening is a real big part of this. Happiness, there are three P's. We always use these little acronyms and we use these little things like three P's and three H's. I found and read a couple of these I thought were really great. Three P's: passion, pleasure, peace. You know, to have passion is to have a purpose. When you're passionate about something, you will make something um, be enjoyable for yourself. If I'm passionate about coaching football and coaching sports like I did for my son, I enjoyed it. I loved it because I saw growth. I saw players go from one level to another level. I saw growth in men, as little boys in their character. I saw people build relationships. I saw an organization come together and become friends. I gained many friends. I saw things that are so much bigger than actually playing a sport. And many people don't see that. They see winning and losing and, their kid didn't play or their kid did. The idea is not that. It's about preparation for the next level. It's about understanding, be a good person, your character and who you are. It's about building relationships with these kids as they grow forward and see that's more important to be a good person in life and to build themselves up, not only academically, but also athletically as well. So to build their body up as well. When we start talking about these things, it's really important, but passion is important. Pleasure, that's what we're talking about. Happiness, right? How do you find pleasure? What's that night that you would plan? What's that trip you would go on? Where's that pleasure? And peace, the most important of all. God wants us to be at peace. I want to be at peace. I want to be surrounded around great people. I want to have my life set where I don't have to worry. I want to look at my life and say, hey, I feel good. And the people around me are in the right places. And I'm here to take my passion, my purpose, and give back to this world, give back to others. And I'm going to be happy. I'm going to have that pleasure. So those three P's are pretty important. There's also the three H's that kind of represent the same thing: health, hope, and harmony. Pretty much the same concept here, right? When you say health, we're talking about building ourselves up mentally and physically. When we talk about hope, things that we are striving for, right? That we want, that will make us happy. And harmony is that peace again, right? Living in peace. So there's a lot of things that come in play when we start talking about this happiness. I think always that we go through this life and we talk about worrying about all the things that happen. And me too. I mean, we're going to worry. We're not going to deny that. We're worrying about certain things that happen, or am I going to be able to pay bills? Am I going to be able to, make it to the game on time? Am I going to be able to get to work and then go see my kid play? Whatever it is, whatever you're doing in life, we're going to worry. But we have to really try to be intentional. Again, that key word, intentional, to enjoy our life, right? So stop worrying and enjoy life. Number one, determine the source of worry. What are you worrying about so you can do something about it? Like, what are you actually worrying about? If you know the source, you can do something about it. You can change that. Number two, put some space in your life. Have some space. Sometimes we're go, 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 go. When I take it as put some space in our life, like have some time to yourself to digest, to get yourself away from the worrying, to really reset yourself. Number three, ditch the small stuff. So many times we sit there and we focus on small things that don't really matter. Somebody said this, somebody cut me off, somebody is doing that, somebody's rumor about that. Just ditch it. Just get rid of it. Ignore it. Move on. Number four, put things in perspective. Really important. Always should put things in perspective. Well, what do you think that they were coming from, right? When this happened, to stop worrying, put it in perspective. Well, if I do this, then this will happen. Let's put it in perspective. Number five, give in to laughter. Laugh it off, right? Something happens, you make a mistake, laugh it off, right? Laugh at yourself. Number six, engage with others. Talk to people. I said it earlier. When you engage with other people, when you talk to other people, when you build relationships with other people, you will create a bigger network that will lead you to bigger and better things. Maybe things that you enjoy, maybe some passion, maybe things that are friendships, maybe relationships, maybe meeting other people, Maybe finding another way to be happy. Number 7, employ relaxation techniques. I know a great yoga instructor. I think that you should add in some things that can make you relax. Is it stretching? Is it watching TV? Is it doing yoga? Is it breathing techniques? Is it meditation? Is it any of the things that you can come up with that keep you from relaxing? Getting a massage, right? Take care of you, right? Stop the worrying, enjoy your life, take care of you. So, I talked a lot in here about some of these things, and I want you to really enjoy the exercises, go through and write them down, have them in front of you. So when you feel down or you're not feeling it, go back, look at that picture, right? Go back, think of that one song, listen to it, listen to that one song, look at that one picture, think of that one person that's going to make you laugh or make you happy. Go ahead and picture that night that you would plan out and who's with you, what you would do, where you would go, when would you go, why would you do this, and then actually do it. Plan it out. It's one night. Spend the money when you say you don't have the money. It's okay. We can always live another day. I understand how hard that is for some people, and I get it. I know that's a struggle, but I'm never holding back from that. I want to live my life now. Live now. Enjoy life. Figure it out and move forward. Be smart, but go ahead and take that chance. Go to that trip to Nashville, even though it might be expensive, because every drink costs $18 down there. Go to Nashville, enjoy yourself, listen to that music, have a good time, celebrate those around you love. Like my goddaughter Abby, getting the chance to spend the time with my cousins and really enjoying life. Go on that trip. Get out of here. Go to Spain. Enjoy the person that you're going with. Enjoy the people that you're going with. Do the fun things. Experience culture. Love life. Right? It's okay. So I'm going to leave you with this. Here's my quote for today so you can ponder. For every minute you are angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. Interesting way to look at it. Where is your focus at? Are you focusing on the 1%, the law of 1%? Or are you focusing on the 90-10% rule, 10% of things? Are you losing 90%? Are you in regret that you lost 90% because you're focusing on the 10%? Stop being angry. Let it go. Focus on the positive. Live life. Be happy. Laugh. Have fun. And enjoy yourself. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I will see you soon. Signing off.